Is that what that is? Good morning, San Diego. Got a little theme song going on because we are talking about new laws that went into effect just yesterday. It's a brand new year, and here to go through what some of these new laws are that you need to know about, we have Vikas Bajaj, who is in from the law offices of Vikas Bajaj.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
And same to you as well. Thank you.
Nice to see you. So much to get through. So first off, I think this is a big one. Search warrants. There's a new law having to do with search warrants and how search warrants are evolving, especially with technology. When you send, everybody's on a text message. Everybody's doing emails. So what's the new law regarding search warrants?
Well, you know, 2016 is really the year that we are codifying common sense. That's really what's happening. So search warrants. The rationale in protecting people from unreasonable searches and seizures is founded in the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution and also codified in the California Constitution. The question is, when will law catch up to technology? So it used to apply when an individual's person or property was searched to find some incriminating evidence, perhaps, after a judge authorizes it. Well, there is so much incriminating evidence and other evidence contained in people's social media, their Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, emails, text messages. The United States Supreme Court codified that in United States versus Riley and recently said you need search warrants to go through a suspect's text messages and cell phones. This really codifies that.
So basically, if you get arrested for something, it's not as easy for law enforcement to grab your cell phone and start looking through your text messages.
That's correct. Or not even just arrested, even searched or just detained or investigated. So those pieces of evidence that have been used for years, and those pieces of evidence that I've fought to keep out of evidence for years for my clients, now are questionable, now have to meet that hurdle of a magistrate saying, there's enough probable cause to search that particular item.
Interesting. Privacy laws having lagged behind technology.
Oh, absolutely.
Now being reinforced. Okay, that's interesting. How about, there's a lot to talk about in terms of new laws affecting weapons, guns, like guns on campus. I'm very interested in that because I have children. But what's the deal with concealed guns, let's say on college campuses?
Right, so concealed weapons, there's always a sort of order of operations you have to go through your local law enforcement agency. Here's the sheriff's department. They will then say, do you need to have a concealed weapon? If so, you can have a permit and then carry a concealed weapon. Well, there is always an allowance to have concealed weapons on school campuses. Again, codifying common sense. Should we have guns on campus? Under no way, shape, or form should we, other than security officers and people who are there to protect our children. And so you can't have the exception now. So concealed weapons will not be allowed on school campuses for any reason whatsoever.
And we're talking college campuses, not just college campuses, but K through 12.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, some parents have weapons that bring weapons with them. Law enforcement parents, they're allowed to carry because of their jobs and their occupations.
When they show up on...
Exactly, but there are no concealed weapons for our citizenry on campuses, something that codifies common sense. Another issue with guns, it is now very easy for concerned family members and other individuals to file a unilateral petition, a restraining order to protect the community, so to speak, and to take away guns that have been legally given or legally in possession of an individual. So now there's a 21-day waiting period, meaning if you have guns and if somebody is legitimately concerned, a court, just as if entertaining a restraining order from individual to individual, can now sign off and say, for instance, Mr. Bajaj cannot have his shotgun anymore because he's mentally unstable. And for instance, if that set of facts were to be true, then a magistrate could sign off and say those guns are gone, they are going to be seized and forfeited. And for 21 days then, I, in that particular example, would have to mount a defense at a hearing to have the right to have my weapons returned to me.
This is a big one because this is, like you say, this law is allowing family members to obtain that restraining order against their family member temporarily.
And if you think about it,
guns.
if you think about where it really puts responsibility, now we have judges who are going to have to interpret the law, and they are going to have to make the conscious decision, which they always do in restraining orders, whether gun restraining orders now or family or friend restraining orders before and continuing. And they will say, well, if I don't sign off to take away his weapon, and if something happens, boy, my name's going to be on front page news, the County of San Diego may be a defendant, I'm going to err on the side of caution and move to stripping more weapons from our citizenry rather than really going through the calculus on whether the risk is real. It's a dangerous proposition on both sides of the debate.
Wow. So many other laws to get to, but I'm sure we'll be chatting with you more through the coming months.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year to you.
You as well.
Congratulations on your baby on the way.
Thank
to
you
your lovely
so much.
wife.
Thank you.
Good to see you.